Rental supply crisis. Yep, that's us yet again. Stay tuned to this week's episode of Prime Property. Promise you, it'll be worth it. Good day, Toronto. Welcome to another episode of Prime Property TV. So glad you could join us here. Now, when I was a teenager, my mom used to tell me lessons over and over and over again in hopes that I would eventually listen and learn. However, despite how many times she'd be telling me the same thing, for instance, stop staying so up so late to watch TV, I just really wouldn't listen. Even though she meant well, I was just drawn to watching TV and sleeping at night. So, as with most teenagers, I never really understood why she kept repeatedly nagging me, telling me over and over and over again, sleeping, until I was in about my 20s and I realized that, you know what? Falling asleep at my desk when I was still working 9 to 5 was probably something I shouldn't be doing. So, lesson learned the hard way after years of not sleeping early. Nobody to blame but my stubborn teenage self. But these days I try to sleep early just to get enough rest. Oh, how times have changed. My point here is why I started with this story is that sometimes us as people in human nature, we don't understand what someone tells us until it hits us in the head, metaphorically speaking, okay? Because they don't understand why we say it over and over and over again, nagging us as it relates to something we're doing right now, but we don't see it until we have the experience to reflect back on it. And why I'm saying this is I find myself coming back over and over and over and over again talking about rental supply issue, huge issue in all that front. And sorry for being that naggy parent, but the reason I'm telling you is because where there is a problem that can be solved by investing to get more supply, there's opportunity to be made for us real estate investors to profit from it. So we are again in a rental crisis. Yes, listen to me, please. We have a rental crisis right now. Don't be that guy who in 10 years can tell their 10s or gal in 10 years to tell their family, oh man, I had a chance to invest in the Toronto real estate market 10 years ago, but I missed my chance. Because I already hear that because the boom started in 08. Don't be that person who says, I should have, could have, would have. Don't be that person. With that being said, another major article came out from the RBC Economics basically saying, big city rental blues. Toronto is in a huge rental housing deficit. And basically saying that rental crisis. In the report, it explains that we need to double the amount of new rental housing in order to meet Toronto's future demand. Remember, a lot of people are still moving here in Toronto. All the things I've been talking about in the last years. If you want to read the full report, I'll put a link in the description below for you guys to read through it. It's a little bit long. Now, one of the most staggering things and the statistics that the report is talking about is that we have a deficit of 53,500 rental units. 53,500 rental units. That's a lot of units. The chart here that I'll show you is to show the discrepancy we have right now. And if you're trying to fix a rental supply crisis in 2 years, that means we have to build about 25,000 units per year. Currently, Toronto's at an all-time high for construction ever, and we're only producing about 22,000 units a year. Yeah, and that's assuming no delays, which you know as a pre-con investor, there definitely will be delays. That means in order to meet the backlog that we have, we need to stop immigration, build frivolously for 2 years, and honestly, neither one of those is going to be happening anytime soon. Unfortunate for the people who are in need of the housing, and fortunate for those investors like ourselves who can help mitigate the supply crisis by investing more in the real estate market. Immigration isn't stopping anytime soon, and Canada planned for about 250,000 immigrants last year, and we ended off about 319,000 in 2018. We're on pace to increase that this year, okay? And 47% of the 300-something thousand people come to Ontario, and we're building 22,000 homes a year. Yeah, it's pretty obvious we have a supply issue. It's a simple math question. We clearly have a housing crisis, and another good point that this article talks about is that to be normal, you have to be around 3% vacancy rate. Toronto has been below 2% in the last 5 years. Just have a look at the chart over here. We're currently sitting at all below 1% vacancy rate, except for one place, which is at 1.1. We're in a major rental crisis. With a major rental crisis, you know what that means. Rental rates go poof. That means cash flow goes poof if you can buy right now. This is why I'm urging you as investors, if you have the ability to be investing in the Toronto market right now, do so before the rental crisis gets resolved, which honestly doesn't sound like it's going to, but you get a head start on everybody. This is why I'm urging you to give me a call. My contacts are right here, so we can talk about what your next investment is going to be. This is prime time for investing in Toronto right now with the rental crisis. Don't be that person 10 years down the road that who calls me and says, Zhen, you know what? I should have, I could have, but you know what? Just go do it now. I believe in you. You can do it. Until next time, happy real estating. Now that you're done watching this one, how about this one? Oh, you know what? This one's good too. Ooh, this one's really good. You know what? Just watch them both.